Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome to part 2 of my Shuriken Sentai Ninninger Mega Review. This will be covering the first half of the mecha. Kind of a big mecha line for Ninninger, so I decided to split it in half. First, we're going to start with Shurikenjin, the main mecha, as well as Paonmaru, UFOmaru, Surfermaru, and Dinomaru, the 4 auxiliaries that work with Shurikenjin. So just basically everything that works directly with this guy. We'll take a look at Bison King, Gekiyatsu Daio, and Lion Hao in the next video. So without further ado, let's take a look. So naturally, our first stop on this review is the Shuriken. This is the Otomonin Shuriken for Shurikenjin. Now, what's interesting in the series itself, the Shuriken takes on multiple forms. So first of all, this is the Shinobimaru form. Now, the blades are removable, just like with the change stars, but with the change stars, you'd have a light and you'd have a sound when you put the blade on. In this instance, it's just a cosmetic thing. There's really no general there's no sound change for having the blade on and off. There's no lights either as these perform sounds. They also make them significantly smaller, actually. If you take a look at a transformation shuriken in comparison, it actually is thinner. There also is not a trigger, like this one, for when you spin it in the Ichibanto. But there is some importance to this, as this provides the head for Shurikenjin, as well as the sound effects. Now, like I said, a little unconventional. This is in the Shinobimaru form. You also get a blade for the Dragomaru form, because this is actually needed for a mecha combination. So to switch the blades, you press the button on the side, you pull them off. You can switch over to Dragomaru. Actually, it needs to go this way. And these can get, and I noticed the mecha, it's harder to get the blades on, but there you got the Dragomaru. Now, for the other three, they don't have specialized blades for the mecha. The first run of Shurikenjin came with a yellow, white, and pink blades. Now, these are identical to the ones that come with the Ki Ninja, Shiro Ninja, and Momo Ninja Shuriken, which is where I pulled mine from. But if you did get the first release version of Shurikenjin, you would get extra blades. Unless, of course, you didn't want the change stars, in which case you would have normal blades. So, there's design like this. This is accurate to the series. It's just Ki Ninja's blade on the Otomonin Shuriken for Dumpmaru, the Shiro Ninja blade for Wanmaru, and the Momo Ninja blade for Byunmaru. So that's basically how that works. Now, the cool part is that there's sounds for all 5 of these, which we can take a look at. But firstly, let's pull this out of the way and bring in the Ichibanto, because it is number 1. Now, what we have here, a couple sounds, so we'll start off with pressing the button. And now we're going to use that third button we didn't use before. So that's how the summoning works for Daraja. The cool part with this is that this isn't a sensitive shuriken because there's no trigger, and you have all 5 sounds for all of them within just one shuriken. So if you have Shurikenjin and the Ichibanto, you can get kind of all their mechaning summoning. You don't really need the blades at all. It's just a cosmetic thing. It's kind of a nice feature, but overall it's not something super necessary. So I'd say if you have the change stars, go ahead and use these with this if you want, but don't necessarily spend more on a Shurikenjin just to get these. It really doesn't add to it. But let us continue forward, if I don't drop the Ichibanto, and take a look at the Otomonin that this Shuriken summons. Here we have Shinobimaru, which belongs to Ninninger. Now, this version of Shinobimaru that's included with Shurikenjin is a very standard Sentai mecha kind of design, very limited articulation, very blocky. There is a Super Sentai Artisan Shinobimaru as well as Rodeomaru that are fully articulated Chogokin action figures. And those are really, really cool, and we might take a look at those some other day. But for now, we're going to focus on this version of Shinobimaru, as this is the one that's included with Shurikenjin. Now, his arms here, can move up and down, but that's about it. You can't really get a 360 because of the backpack. The head does turn left and right, which is pretty neat. And the legs do move so you can sit down. I just got a weird little block. Now the reason why, even if you do get the Super Sentai Artisan action figure version, you need to keep this guy around because what's interesting is that he actually turns into an arm. And this is not possible on the Artisan version of Shinobimaru. So this is very important to keep around. That being said, very basic figure, very neat, but overall, nothing too interesting. Here we have my favorite of Shurikenjin's Otomonin. This is Dragomaru. Dragomaru is really cool looking. And that's really what it comes down to. It's a lot of looks, it's a lot of really neat aesthetics. Articulation's not too much. I mean, you can move his legs forward and you can bend his legs a little bit, and his arms move, which actually does count as articulation. But other than that, nothing else. I love the wing design. I love how the sword is the tail. It's a really nice, concise mecha. And I do like how Shurikenjin, outside of the extra blade and the Shuriken, doesn't have too many leftover parts in the individual components. Here we have Dumpmaru belonging to Ninninger. Dumpmaru, aka the Nitro Zord. I just laugh because it's funny. It doesn't seem that much. It's a dump truck. Power Rangers tries to play it off as something else. It's mostly kind of a benefit of design because they needed an empty space. So if you like to buy a dump truck, that's the one thing. I thought the ninja guy and the dragon and later on the dog kind of fit the ninja theme, but then the dump truck and train, not so much. But overall, it's neat, I guess. I mean, it rolls. This is probably my least favorite. There is a spot. If you notice here, there's a little spot you can stick Shinobimaru in, so you can like ride around in them. That's it. Here is Wanmaru. Wanmaru is a ninja dog, also known as the Kodiak Zord, because Kodiak is a type of dog. This one actually does have some articulation in the form of the mouth opening, which I like. The legs can move too, slightly, which is neat. But yeah, overall nothing too exciting. It is a nice little white dog, ninja dog thing, and I think that's unique and different, but that's it. Here is Byunmaru. Byunmaru is a super train, but not the Super Train Megazord. I think it's called the Zoom Zord in Ninja Steel. Really neat overall. I like it. I like it a lot. It's a little bit more exciting than the Dumpmaru, but it is also very much, this is the legs of the mecha, and it's kind of obvious it is. On the plus side, it is only just slightly shorter than the Ichibanto. So that's cool. And and you can put Wanmaru in the back here, and he can hang out there, and then there's just like a happy little duo here. So now we got all these components. Let's put them together. We're gonna start with Wanmaru and Byunmaru. So Wanmaru here, all you gotta do is flip the head up, fold the legs in, and then reinsert it back into Byunmaru like this. Fold this foot up, fold this foot up, bring leg and leg together. I got the legs. So now from here, we're going to take Dumpmaru. Dumpmaru finally serves a purpose. We're going to remove the front part here. This will transform into an arm, interestingly enough, like so. And then the rest of it will become the torso. So we'll fold that back, bring these foot guards out. These also tend to kind of move together the longer that the toy's owned. I don't know why, it just does. We'll pull these little handles out. The nice part is this is a nice sliding mechanism, so you just slide it, click it, and then we'll attach the other arm here. And moving on to our next stop is Dragomaru. Dragomaru is a little bit more complicated. Then you pull off the wings, pull off his tail, then you fold up his arms, bring him down, fold them together, make him into an arm. From here, you want to take the shield bits, the wing bits, turn them into a shield like this. Just plugs onto the outside of his arm. Sword tail here. And we're going to take Shinobimaru and put him into a sitting position. Raise his arms up a little bit. He actually does have a couple pegs, a couple clips that go into the clips. Put that there. Bring the arms down. Or bring the handles around for him. Bring these down so you can grip the little handles. Then you want to take the Shuriken, flip up the face, and attach it on, which will activate a string of sound effects. So Shurikenjin's kind of a weird mix of design elements. On one hand, you have kind of the regal ninja look. You have a guy in a chair, so you basically have a mecha piloting a mecha, which I think is kind of interesting. It works better in the series, too, with the way the cockpit's designed to have Aka Ninja in the center. Of course, Takaharu is the center of attention anytime the episode is airing, or anything happens, really. But overall, I do like the finished Shurikenjin. A little plain from the back. But overall, I think that the design kind of works itself to where you have a lot of weird vehicles. And I really think that a lot of people say that there's no correlation to Shurikenjin. I think there is. I think it's very much you have Ninja Dude, Dog Dude, Dragon Dude, all kind of fits the ninja theme. But then you have the dump truck and the train, which really just kind of is a thing where I felt like they were like, how do we get legs and torso for this? Another arm. So that's where they ended up going with that. But overall, I mean, the cohesiveness is there with the arm design, with both shoulders having the lantern kind of look, the gold accents throughout. I do think it's a decent road. I think the head looks a little strange because you have the pegs there, but it is what it is. This is kind of really big and bulky. One thing I do like is that despite Ninja Steel having these really thin, tiny shuriken, it did make the head of the Megazord look a little bit sleeker. But it does not have sounds, which this does. Which I think that's it. So he does have sounds, which is pretty neat. Overall, Shurikenjin in his base form, it's going to be kind of 50-50 on whether or not you like it. Some people don't like the shield sticking out. Personally, I don't mind him that much, and I actually do kind of enjoy this mecha. It's really fun to put together. It's not too simple, it's not too complicated, and it just kind of snaps together really nice and neat. Now, that's not all Shurikenjin does. For like I said, it did come with this blue blade, and this blue blade has a specific design. Why is that? Well, Shurikenjin is able to convert into Shurikenjin Drago. Now, this causes you to replace Shinobimaru with Dragomaru, much like the other auxiliaries will for the line later. So let's go ahead and take a look. So first things first, we're going to pop the Shuriken off, and we're going to remove the blade and pop on this blade. Now, this blade's been sitting in a storage box for the most part, so it kind of sticks a little bit. I'm going to flip the head all the way up like so. From here, we're going to remove the sword, pull Shinobimaru out of here. Raising the arms helps. Let's get him out. We're going to convert him into his arm form for this, like that. So we got that. We're going to then take the shield here, break it into two pieces again, pop the Dragomaru off, replace him with Shinobimaru. We're going to bring this forward. We're going to bring the legs up like this, like that. The tail is going to plug on here. The wings are going to plug up here and here. And we're going to put them like that. Next up, we're going to take Dragomaru, get him into a nice sitting position so we can insert him into the chair area. Like that. His legs do stick out. You want to bring his hands down over the handle areas. I kind of have to rotate him on the inside, I think. Make sure he's plugged in because he does have a tendency to fall out if he isn't. So we got him like that, where he's just kind of hanging out. And then we're going to take and bring in the Shuriken and plug it on top. It's going to go onto these two clips here. It'll clip into here. Here is Shurikenjin Drago. I love this alternate form. This reminds me of Maji King. How Maji King would have the dragon form is like, here's another way to combine these same 5 mecha. I actually like that concept a lot, and I want to see it more in Super Sentai. It's just not very much used outside of like carrier formations. But this is fantastic. I love the look of it. It's a little bit, yeah, it's Shurikenjin hunched over and being like, rawr, I'm a dragon, because it's got a new head. But overall, I do really like this design, and yeah, Shurikenjin Drago is really cool. One note for the American release of this Megazord, known as the Ninja Steel Megazord, there is a dragon formation possible with the toys, but without an alternate Shuriken, it looks kind of like that. And personally speaking, I think that's kind of lame. But what can you do? So without further ado, let's start taking a look at the auxiliaries for Shurikenjin. So here we have Paonmaru, also known as the Rumble Tusk Zord. Now, instant comparisons will be made to Geki Elephant and Gao Elephant, and that's because they're all elephant-based auxiliaries. Nobody ever compares it to Revolver Mammoth, though, and I think that's a shame. It's probably because it's a different scale. There are some similarities, but Paonmaru is kind of more Aztec Incan vibe with its design more than anything, which I think is cool. Now, this is its elephant form. All of the auxiliary Otomonin have an animal form and a Otomonin form. So we have this here. Really nice. It's a nice little stocky elephant. Nothing too exciting. This is sold on its own in Japan. If you're buying this for the Ninja Steel line, you had to get a whole green and orange Ninja Steel Megazord just to get this guy, so kind of a downside. To transform him, we'll take this off. I'll remove the Shuriken, which we'll take a look at in a second. Fold this up, pop the back legs off. Take this guy, fold his head up, give him his chest and arms like that. And then we will attach the big old shoulder cannons to his shoulders. Really cool. There were no Super Sentai Artisan releases for the auxiliary Otomonin, which is kind of a shame, but there you go. There's Paonmaru. Surprisingly, very sturdy and very stable. Despite having all that back kibble, he will tip over, but like for the most part, he's very well balanced, which I do appreciate. But other than that, there's no articulation on him. He's a cool looking dude. I like him. I like him a lot. Usually, since none of these Otomonin combine with other mecha for big combos, I just kind of have them in their little robot forms on my shelf. This is, of course, the Paonmaru Otomonin Shuriken. Similar to the other Mecha Shuriken, the blade's removable, but there's no sound or anything for that. And this is a very directional blade. It's also really hard to get on. Okay, so let's take a look here at the sounds. And, of course, you can use it with the Ichibanto. So that does it for Paonmaru on his own. So to combine Paonmaru, we're going to start with Shurikenjin, remove the Shuriken, and we're going to remove Shinobimaru. This is going to be the same for all of them, so I'm just going to kind of leave it in this default configuration each time. So we'll switch him back to his arm mode, but this time instead of replacing Dragomaru, he's going to replace the Dumpmaru arm. Now, the interesting part here, let's get this plugged on first. Interesting part is that there is a peg on the back here. This is later used for another combination, but you can stick the arm back there if you want to keep track of it. It makes them a little back heavy, but it does balance out nicely. I'm just going to take it off for the sake of simplicity, but it is something that is canon to the series. So if you wanted to stick the arm back there, they actually did that in the series itself. So now we're bringing Paonmaru. Take Paonmaru, pop the shoulder cannons off. We'll sit him down. And we're just going to put him in, kind of line up the handles to the back area. We'll just stick him straight in. The back of his hands are slotted to hold the handles. It's just a little finicky to get him kind of in there and seated. But there he is. Paonmaru's in. We'll take these. We'll fold the handles out. And these have little axe designs on the outside. So we'll put that one hand here. Pull that like this. And then take the Shuriken, flip the head down, and plug it on. So here we have Shurikenjin Paon, also known as the Rumble Tusk Megazord. And yeah, pretty neat combo. There's really not much else to say. I like the head design here. With, again, that Aztecian, Incan kind of look. I say both because Toei is culturally insensitive at times. And you can see we got the axes there, which looks pretty cool. I do like that. And yeah, overall, a really nice look. Next up is UFOmaru, or UFOmaru, aka the Astrozord. And I really don't have anything to say about this aside from it's a UFO. It's not reminiscent of anything else because there's nothing we've never ever had before in Sentai. A UFO is pretty unique. Again, elephant kind of fit the ninja thing a bit. UFO, not at all. I mean, I guess they're stealthy because it's an unidentified flying object. But, about it. It's a giant circle. I mean, the toy isn't even that interesting. If you wanted this for the Ninja Steel toy line, you had to buy a whole separate Ninja Steel Megazord that's blue and silver and stuff. Which actually didn't look that bad, to be honest, but still kind of annoying they did that. Here's the Shuriken. I'll put that up to the side. We'll switch him to his Otomonin form. So I could pop the backpack off here. Put that aside. Put this around. Bring his feet on the other side, because I messed this up. Bring the head down, or bring the chest down. Bring the head up. Not really sure why that's a two-part thing, but bring the arms down. And you plug the big old backpack, and now I got UFOmaru. And actually, I like the robot mode. I really do. It's got kind of a spacesuit look, which is kind of neat. And he's got like the giant ring, which I think is cool. His little arms move. You can move his feet too, but that really doesn't do anything. And yeah, that is UFOmaru. Taking a look at the Ninja Star. Once again, the Shuriken. Blade comes off. Doesn't really need to. I don't really take them off very often. But it does have sounds.
Otomonin Shuriken UFO.
And it can be worked with the Ichibanto. If the Ichibanto is on. So now we'll take a look at UFOmaru with Shurikenjin. Alright, so now we have Shurikenjin ready to combine with UFOmaru. So take him, move his backpack, put him in a sitting position. There went Paonmaru again. He's just not having a good day. Apologize deeply to Paonmaru. Set him in place. The handles kind of need to be a little bit farther back on this one, just to line up with the hands. I do like that little feature, and I do like that those are adjustable. That really helps. And then we're going to give Shurikenjin this as a blaster. I think it looks pretty cool. Take the helmet, I like the little astronaut face here, and attach it. But yeah, there is UFOmaru. I like the little nin that's written on the head. And I like the blaster. But other than that, it doesn't... Actually, it does have the same amount of parts as Paonmaru, minus an extra weapon. But it looks pretty decent overall. This is also known as the Astro Megazord. Because we already had one of those in space. So... homage? Here we have Surfermaru. Now, Surfermaru is probably my favorite of the auxiliary Otomonin out of the three. This is also the Sub-Surfer Zord from Power Rangers Ninja Steel. A good note for those of you out there that may have not decided which set of Zords to get. Don't get Ninja Steel if you want this guy, because there is no Ninja Steel equivalent. This is speaking from September 2018. Yes, Bandai still has the toy license till April of 2019, and yes, the year's not technically over yet, but there is no Sub-Surfer Megazord with a bunch of purple and white Ninja Steel Megazord limbs. And there seems to be no plans to release this guy. The only thing that's come out for this has been this. Which, by the way, here's your side-by-side Shuriken to Ninja Star comparison of the same star. This won't even fit on the Megazord, so... that's not too helpful. But yeah, so this is one of those instances, Bandai of America does this every once in a while, and it's obnoxious, where they totally skipped a Zord. And it's not even a Zord that they cut out of the show, like with Data's Hyper or the Mystic Brothers. This is a Zord they completely just didn't do a toy of. I thought it would have released later in the line, probably after the Blaze Megazord, but we are, again, September. There's no toy listing for one. There's nothing shown at a toy fair or a Comic-Con or anything. And there's no leak from UK, Australia, anything. There is no Subsurfer Zord. As of the recording of this video, there's a snowball's chance in Hades that there will be a Subsurfer Zord in the line. I don't see it happening because of how much information we have of the line, you know, at this point, and the fact that Bandai of America is losing the license. So I wouldn't hold out hope for that. But let's take a look at Surfermaru. We'll take the Shuriken off. This is a nice little sub mode. We'll take the front part here. This will become the Otomonin. This part converts into a surfboard, which has got flames. Same flames as the Ichibanto. Thanks, design consistency. You'll also notice there's 3 tab sections. These actually fold up here and here. This one's for Shurikenjin, by his head, Bison King, and Surfermaru. So that's how you keep that straight. But it looks really cool, design-wise. I pulled that too far. So there's that. And then we take Surfermaru here, fold his feet up, bring his arms down, turn... Oh, no, not turn his head, flip his head up. And here is Surfermaru. Now, he's really cool. I like the look of him. Again, sad there's no articulated version. He does have, like, a weird stance. Like, he just is designed to lean forward, because you bend his knees, you do this. I do like the tattoo look there, in a way. And then you clip him onto the surfboard, and his little head turns. So he can be surfing down that way. He is the purple surfer. I really like Surfermaru, like I said. He rolls really nicely, which is really cool. I do like the fact he does come out of Bison King. We'll look at that again next video when we look at Bison King. So he's a little bit more robust than I think the other auxiliary Otomonin. Taking a look at the Shuriken, once again, blade comes off. No real purpose, but, you know, it does it. I love how many blades. Let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blades. Really cool. And sounds.
Otomonin Shuriken Surfer.
Love that jingle. So that is Surfermaru. This next one's going to get radical with Surfermaru. So first of all, simple part, just like always, we're going to put the Otomonin into its sitting position, fit him right in here, wedge the handles in place, put his little feet down like this, so he kind of sits nice and natural, I feel. We're then going to take the surfboard and flip this clip up, somehow, there we go. And then this clip will clip onto the bottom of Byunmaru's foot. There is no other clip to clip the Wanmaru, which I kind of don't like, in a way. It's okay. And now he's just going to be a little tipsy. Zooming out a little bit here. Here is the Shuriken. Flip the head up, and we'll attach it on. Love that sound. Also, as you can see on the bottom there, he's got the surfboard. Now, this is the same surfboard. Nothing's really changed. It does roll nicely, but it does tend to tip forward. It's not exactly what I'd call stable. And that's because the clip of the foot is really far forward. So he's really hanging 10 there. And with the wheels, it kind of makes him a little unsteady. Plus, when you pick him up, it holds in place fairly well, but it also just kind of flops a bit. So, I like the concept behind Surfermaru, and I like the individual mode, and I love the head. Not digging the combination as much for a lack of stability. Alright, so here we have Dinomaru. Now, Dinomaru does not exist in Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel currently, as of September 2018. But according to episode descriptions, I don't think it's going to be appearing, especially since they already used the villain from Shuriken Sentai Ninninger, the movie, which this was exclusive to. Outside of the Ninninger movie, Dinomaru only ever appeared in the Returns special, which, as far as we know, they're not using footage of, and that was only a brief cameo anyways. So Dinomaru is exclusive to Ninninger, which is also good because Bandai of America doesn't have a toy of this either. Now, Dinomaru himself is actually a retool of Paonmaru. It's very hard to tell, but basically the main body part here and these pieces are very similar to, well, the main body part and these pieces. But other than that, he's pretty new overall, and I do like how he looks. He is nice and orange. Now, overall, I gotta say that this is one of those cases where Bandai of America skipped over a Zord, and you're not missing anything if you collect for Power Rangers. That being said, though, if you do collect for Power Rangers and just want a cool dinosaur, Dinomaru is actually pretty cool. He does have an articulated mouth, so you can open and close the mouth. The head does tip up and down, and you can adjust the tail a little bit. But let's transform him into his Otomonin form. So we'll pull off the head, pull off the legs, pull the body off, and pull the tail off the Shuriken. Take a look at the Shuriken here. Once again, no reason to take the blade off, but you certainly can. Yada, yada, yada. We'll put him back together here. So take him, flip a Paonmaru, flip the head, like that. Love that head. Let's look at it now, because it's going to get covered up. But there it is. We're going to attach this, which gives him his arms. Then we're going to come around and attach these, which work the same way as Paonmaru's, just onto the shoulders. Ironically, Dinomaru's tail just took out Paonmaru. And we want to plug the tail right on here so it balances them out. And there is Dinomaru. His Otomonin form, and he looks really kind of funky. Because there's so much dinosaur in the front, it really kind of looks like he's, you know... Like, from this side, you don't even notice that there's much of a transformation. He looks like a weird dinosaur man still, so... Your mileage may vary. Just for comparison's sake, here is Paonmaru. Since they are mold sharers, you can see there's similarities, but they are very different. I do like that quite a bit. So we'll take a look at the Shuriken now. A little closer. I'll do the sounds.
Otomonin Shuriken Dino.
And the Ichibanto. So there you go. Now it's time to combine. Alright, lastly we have the Dinomaru combination. So we're going to remove the tail, remove the legs, and leave those there. And then we're going to take Dinomaru here, sit him down, fit him in place somehow. He's a little finicky. Swing the handles around. They go around the outside pretty good. So he's in place there. I'll open the mouth a little bit. Now this is the tricky part. So you got the legs here. They work as hammers, but then you also have the tail, which works as a sword. So you can't actually have all of them at once. So you're going to pick and choose. I'm going to go with tail sword here, and we'll do one hammer here, and then the other hammer is just going to sit off to the side. You could, in theory, plug it into this arm and plug this arm onto the back. And there you go, now you're holding all the parts, but, you know, it looks a little weird. And we'll put the Shuriken down on the head.
Shurikenjin Dino.
There's Shurikenjin Dino. No American name, because it doesn't exist in America, but... There you go, Shurikenjin Dino. I like the combination a lot. The alternate weapon thing is a little bit obnoxious. There are other ways around it besides just sticking it on the back. I think at one point, yep, you can wedge the two together to give them a giant weapon. So that solves that problem, essentially. But yeah, it's nice to have more weapons than you can hold. That's always a good thing for the sake of options, and I like the look, and I really think he looks really cool. So... that does it for the combinations, that does it for the Otomonin, that does it for this video. Let's wrap it all up. So overall, Shurikenjin and his little buddies are pretty neat. Shurikenjin as a mecha itself seems like a convoluted mess on paper, seems like a convoluted mess in pictures, and probably seems like a convoluted mess in this video, but honestly, I actually really enjoy it. I have a lot of fun transforming the different Otomonin back and forth. I love the different combinations, and I like the way that the auxiliary Otomonin work with Shurikenjin. It gives some different options and variety. I think the only downside is these 4 guys don't work into any other combinations, therefore they'll always be hanging out like this, but at least they have cool robot modes that take up less space, unless you don't have a place to put the Shuriken, in which case you'd probably want to leave them in their animal modes. But overall, I think that the Shuriken Sentai Ninninger mecha line is a little confusing when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, but I actually really enjoy what I see here. So stay tuned for next part. It'll be part 3, my last part of the Ninninger Mega Review. That'll be covering Bison King, Gekiyatsu Daio, and Lion Hao, plus all the combinations involved with that. So stay tuned, and be sure to check out Hero Club for all your Super Sentai news and more. Until next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.